This is the real story of my cousin Stan. He doesn't like to talk about it, but I'll share it with you so that you don't repeat his mistake. 3 weeks ago, he caught his fiancée cheating with the help of a stuffed bear. How exactly? Stay tuned. Stan and Bianca's love story was never a fairy tale. It was a story of two adults who had already known loss and hurt. He was 32, she was 27. They met in an ordinary way, through mutual friends, on their very first date. Sitting by the window in a quiet coffee shop, Bianca had been honest with him. "I just recently broke up with my ex," she said, wrapping her hands around her coffee cup. "We were together for 3 years. His name Bobby, but now it's ancient history, a closed chapter, a blocked number. He doesn't exist to me anymore," she'd stated firmly. "I'm single now," Stan nodded, holding his cup without drinking. "I'm single too," he said. "It's been 2 years for me. My last relationship left some scars." They both understood. Trust wasn't something that happened overnight. Neither of them wanted to get hurt again. That's why, early on, they made a promise to each other to never cheat, to never deliberately hurt one another. Stan knew he would keep his word, and he believed, that Bianca would keep hers. They dated for 2 years. Their relationship wasn't perfect, it was real. And somehow, that made it even more special. The night Stan decided to propose, he felt like he already knew her answer. Still, his heart was pounding hard when he knelt down in front of her at their favorite park, the one where they had first walked together until sunrise. In his hand was a small velvet box. "Bianca," he said softly, his voice just a little shaky. "I want you to be my home, always. Will you marry me?" She gasped, covering her mouth with both hands, her eyes filling with tears. "Yes, Stan, yes!" And for a moment the world stopped. Just the two of them, their promise and all the hope of the future stretched out ahead. The first few months of their engagement were filled with laughter and fun. Stan always looked forward to being with her. While Bianca was a social media influencer with her own online store, Stan worked as a data analyst for a big tech firm in our town. He liked structure, clear results, feeling like he was in control. The long hours meant he missed a lot. Dinners, date nights, even just sitting around talking. But Bianca didn't seem to mind. She'd just smile, busy editing another video or chatting with her followers like everything was fine. Then came the shift. The company, embracing the new normal, transitioned Stan's team to a hybrid model, heavily favoring remote work. Suddenly, Stan was home. A lot. At first, he welcomed the proximity. More time together, he thought. Less stress commuting. But the constant presence began to fray the edges of their polished routine. Small things he had once found charming, the way she hummed while editing videos, her endless phone calls with fans, an unwashed cup left on the counter, started to grate on him. But then he started noticing things, or perhaps he started looking for things, his analytical mind seeking patterns in the domestic data stream. Bianca seemed jumpier, more protective of her phone than usual, angling the screen away instinctively when he walked past. Quick swipes to close apps if he glanced over her shoulder. Her laughter sometimes sounded a fraction too bright, her explanations for late-night texting sessions occasionally feeling rehearsed. Stan, trained to detect anomalies, felt a dissonant chord strike within him. He cataloged these moments, filed them away in the recesses of his mind, the unease growing like a silent data corruption. He told himself it was the stress of wedding planning, the pressure of maintaining her online persona. But the analyst in him whispered otherwise. One Tuesday evening, the dissonant chord became a deafening clang. Bianca was in the shower, the sound of running water a steady backdrop to the quiet hum of the apartment. Stan was tidying the living room. Then he heard it, a low, insistent vibration. Not from Bianca's usual phone charging on the kitchen counter, this was closer, muffled, coming from the bedroom. Curiosity, tinged with a suspicion he refused to fully acknowledge, pulled him towards their bedroom. The vibration led him to the king-sized bed. He remembered Bianca's playful hints about a new personal massager she'd ordered, one known for its discreet buzzing. A faint, almost involuntary smile touched his lips. Perhaps that was it. He reached into the plush jumble, fingers searching. His hand closed not on smooth silicone, but on cool, hard plastic and glass. He pulled it out. It wasn't a toy, it was a phone. A second phone, sleek, black, unfamiliar. As he held it, the screen lit up. A missed call notification glowed starkly against the dark background. And beneath it, The name that made the blood freeze, then surge boiling hot through his veins. Bobby. The call icon faded, immediately replaced by a message preview bubble. Stan didn't need to unlock the phone. The words were brutally clear. "Baby, call me back. Baby." Stan stood frozen. Bobby, not ancient history, not a blocked number, a current contact, hidden, secret. The carefully constructed reality Stan had curated cracked, revealing something ugly writhing underneath. The promises, the assurances, the wide-eyed sincerity, all seemed like props in a play he hadn't realized he was just a supporting actor in. When Bianca came out of the bathroom, wrapped in a fluffy white towel, still steaming from her shower, she froze the second she saw Stan. He was standing stiff by the bed, holding up the second phone like it was a smoking gun. His face was stone cold, furious. "What?" Stan's voice was dangerously low, tight. "The hell is this, Bianca?" Bianca's eyes darted from Stan's face to the phone, then back. A flicker of panic, quickly masked by practiced composure. She took a deep breath, tilting her chin slightly. "Stan, calm down. It's not what you think." "Isn't it?" He shot back, the controls snapping. "A second phone? Hidden? With messages from Bobby calling you baby?" The word dripped with sarcasm. "He is out of my life, Stan. Not like that," she insisted, walking closer. "Bobby, he reached out a while ago. Professionally, he works in marketing now, high level. He's connected, Stan. He's helping me land a huge brand deal. Skincare. The kind of contract that could set us up." Stan stared, incredulous. "Helping you? So you hide a phone and exchange baby messages for business? It's complicated." Bianca's voice rose slightly, a crack in the facade. "The baby thing, it's just stupid shorthand, an old habit from years ago. Meaningless. Look." She snatched her main phone from the nightstand, thumbs flying across the screen. She pulled up a chat thread under Bobby's actual name. "See? Look at these messages. Scheduling calls, talking brand strategy. It's work, Stan." She held the phone out. Stan scanned the messages she displayed. They were undeniably professional. Timestamps, meeting coordinates, PDF attachments discussing campaign metrics. Clean, businesslike. Doubt hit him hard. Had he jumped to the worst conclusion over one word and a hidden phone? What she said made sense. Influencer stuff was always messy anyway. He looked at her, wet hair, wide, pleading eyes, like someone who really hadn't done anything wrong. Guilt crept in. The anger drained out, leaving him feeling stupid, jealous, haunted by Bobby all over again. Bianca let out a soft, almost wounded laugh, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "I get it, Stan," she said, her voice gentle but just edged with hurt. "You don't trust me, not really." Stan stiffened. "No, it's not that. I should have told you about the second phone," Bianca added softly. "Maybe if I had, you wouldn't have felt the need to check up on me." She wasn't accusing him. She didn't have to. The weight of it was enough. "I'm sorry," Stan mumbled, feeling like a fool. A suspicious, jealous fool. He had to make it up to her. The way he blew up last night? It was ugly, way out of line. He needed something big to fix it. The next day, he got an idea. Cheesy, sure, but it fit Bianca's love for cute, over-the-top stuff. He went to a fancy toy store and bought the biggest, fluffiest teddy bear he could find. Cream fur, big sad button eyes, a stupid satin bow, a little voice recorder hidden inside, meant for kids to leave messages. Back home, before presenting it, Stan pressed the record button. He poured his apology into the microphone concealed in the bear's paw. "Be, my love," his voice, thick with forced sincerity. "I am so sorry for last night, for doubting you. You're my everything, the best thing that ever happened to me. I trust you. I love you." He presented the bear that evening with a flourish. Bianca squealed with delight, burying her face in its soft fur. "Stan, he's adorable. What's his name?" "Whatever you want, B," Stan smiled, feeling a measure of control return. "But he has something to say to you." He guided her hand to the recorder button. She pressed it. His recorded voice filled the room, earnest and apologetic. Bianca's eyes genuinely welled up this time. She threw her arms around Stan, hugging him tightly. "Oh, Stan, I love you too. Apology accepted. Totally forgotten." The bear, whom she christened Barnaby, took pride of place on their living room couch. For a week, an uneasy peace settled. Stan tried to push the incident, the second phone, the lingering, dissonant note out of his mind. Then came the following Saturday. Stan was setting up for the afternoon baseball game, meticulously arranging snacks on the coffee table. He plumped the couch pillows, repositioning Barnaby. As he moved the heavy bear, his thumb accidentally depressed the recorder button nestled in its paw. He expected to hear his own saccharine apology. Instead, a different voice filled the quiet room. Bianca's voice. Clear, conspiratorial. Not the voice she used for her followers, or even the slightly strained voice from their argument. This was different, relaxed, intimate, and she wasn't talking to him. Absolutely bleed them dry, Bob, Bianca was saying smoothly into what Stan presumed was the hidden second phone, probably held close while lounging against the bear. The markup on these so-called miracle serums is criminal. We just need to keep feeding them the engagement metrics they want to see. Drag it out another quarter. By then, the ambassador fee alone. Her voice trailed off into a low chuckle. Stan felt a cold knot tighten in his stomach. She was talking about the skincare brand, scamming them with Bobby, but it got worse. The business talk shifted tone, melting into something softer, huskier. Okay, gotta run, Bianca murmured. A pause. Then her voice dropped, intimate, laced with unmistakable promise. I miss you, baby. Seriously, tonight, just be ready. I promise you won't forget tonight. Another low chuckle, then the distinct click of a call ending. Silence descended, broken only by the faint hum of the refrigerator. The ground felt like it had dissolved beneath his feet. Baby. Won't forget tonight. Scamming the client. It wasn't just a stupid shorthand. It wasn't just business. It was the Bobby. Her ex. They were partners in deception, both professional and personal. The recording was undeniable, irrefutable proof captured by the very device Stan had used to feign trust. The apology bear had become his Trojan horse. She hadn't just lied, she had expertly manipulated him, played on his guilt, woven a complex web of deceit while planning clandestine meetings and mocking their clients behind his back. The innocent influencer was a con artist, and he, Stan, the sharp data analyst, had been her biggest mark. His mind, usually occupied with datasets and algorithms, began processing this new, devastating input. Variables, Bianca's duplicity, Bobby's involvement, the client's scam, the planned rendezvous tonight. Objective? Retribution, not just exposure, annihilation. He didn't confront her when she came home later, humming cheerfully. He played his part, the attentive fiancé, discussing catering options, feigning interest in floral arrangements. Inside, a cold engine of calculation was firing up. He needed more than just the recording. He needed visual confirmation. He needed leverage. That evening, Bianca announced, a little too casually, that she needed to meet a local DJ to film a quick reel for her page. It'll just be an hour tops, she said, slipping into her boots and adjusting her hair in the hallway mirror. You don't need to wait up. Stan nodded, forcing a neutral smile, but inside, suspicion twisted in his gut. The excuse sounded rehearsed, almost too neat. As soon as the door clicked shut behind her, he grabbed his keys. Keeping a careful distance, he followed her through the streets, watched her take a few wrong turns that made no sense if she was headed to a DJ's studio. Finally, just as he had feared, she slipped into a dimly lit restaurant tucked away in a familiar part of town, the same neighborhood Bobby was known to haunt. Stan pulled his car into a spot across the street, heart pounding. From the shadows across the street, Stan watched as Bianca stepped inside Il Corvo, the small Italian restaurant with the big front window. She moved easily through the cozy dining room, heading straight for a table pressed against the glass. And there he was, Bobby. Stan recognized him instantly, even from this distance. He knew too well from the old photos. Bianca had never quite managed to erase from the deep archives of her social media. They weren't sitting stiffly across from each other like old acquaintances catching up. No, they were tucked into the side of a corner booth, heads leaned in close, oblivious to the world outside. Stan's jaw clenched as he watched Bobby lift a forkful of pasta toward Bianca. She leaned in with a flirty little smile and let him feed her, like it was the most normal thing ever. Easy, familiar, practiced. Stan's stomach turned. He steadied his hand, raised his phone, and filmed from the driver's seat of his car. Through the restaurant's large window, the view was clear enough. The body language, the laughter, the shared smiles under the soft glow of the table lamp, undeniable. Enough. Without waiting for anything more, Stan lowered his phone, put the car in gear, and pulled away from the curb. Once he got home, Stan moved fast. He connected the hidden recorder from Barnaby the Bear to his laptop, transferring the audio file. He named it clinically, Bianca_Bobby Tape, Then he uploaded the video clip from Il Corvo confirmation. Finally, he backed up both files onto a small, encrypted flash drive, the same kind he trusted for critical work projects. Ultimate security for ultimate betrayal. He sat back, staring at the dark screen for a long moment, the evidence now safe and damning in his hands. Then, methodically, he packed a bag. Essentials only. Laptop, chargers, toiletries, a few changes of clothes. He paused, looking around the pristine apartment, their apartment, filled with her curated aesthetic, her carefully chosen objects, her lingering scent. It all felt alien now, contaminated. He placed the flash drive in his pocket. He walked out, closing the door softly behind him, leaving Barnaby sitting sentinel on the silent couch. He drove towards the impersonal anonymity of a downtown hotel. As he navigated the city lights, his phone started buzzing. Bianca. He glanced at the screen, a flicker of grim satisfaction crossing his face. He ignored the flood of texts that followed. 35 missed calls. She was irrelevant noise now. He had the data. The next phase was execution. Checking into the sterile hotel room felt like entering a command center. Stan opened his laptop, the glow illuminating his set face. Phase 1. Professional ruin. He drafted a concise, chillingly professional email. The recipient, the head of marketing at the skincare brand Bianca was supposed to be championing. Subject, urgent, regarding Bianca Hayes. Brand ambassadorship and potential fraud. He attached the audio file, Bianca_Bobby tape. In the email body, he stated the facts simply. Attached is an audio recording featuring your brand ambassador, Bianca Hayes, discussing strategies to artificially inflate engagement metrics and defraud your company, alongside disparaging remarks about your product quality. He hit send, the click of the mouse pad echoing like a gavel. Ruining her career was satisfying, yes, but Stan, the architect of this controlled demolition, wanted more. He wanted public humiliation. He wanted her meticulously crafted facade shattered before the very audience she courted. He wanted everyone to see the real Bianca, and for that, he needed an unwilling accomplice. He needed Bobby. Finding Bobby wasn't hard. Stan's skills from work, digging through messy data, made it pretty easy. A few quick searches, cross-checking names, places Bianca had let slip over the years, and he had him. Bobby's job, the marketing firm he worked at, even the bar he liked to hit after work. By the next afternoon, he showed up at the upscale downtown bar Bobby liked to haunt around happy hour. Bobby was there, nursing a craft beer. Stan turned toward him, full on now. "How's Bianca?" he asked, voice dripping venom. Bobby straightened. "Who are you?" "Let's just say," Stan growled, "I'm the guy she's been coming home to after your little dinner dates." Bobby shoved him hard. Stan didn't back down. He shoved Bobby right back, harder, breathing sharp through his nose. "How's it feel?" Stan growled, stepping closer, "sneaking around with another man's fiancée like a goddamn thief." His voice was low, but it hit like a punch. "You think you're the real deal? You're just the side act, the backup plan." Bobby threw his glass down onto the bar with a crash and swung. Stan barely dodged, feeling the rush of air past his cheek, and lunged at him. They grappled, knocking over stools, crashing into a table. Someone shouted. Glass shattered. Within seconds, 2 burly security guards rushed over, grabbing them both. "Outside, now!" one barked, dragging Stan toward the door while the other wrestled Bobby. The guards threw them out onto the street like trash, the door slamming behind them with a loud thud. Stan staggered to his feet, fists still clenched. Bobby was already up, pacing like a caged animal. For a second, it looked like they might go at it again. "She told me she was single," Bobby barked, shoving a finger at Stan's chest. "No fiancé, no boyfriend, nothing." Stan froze, breath catching in his throat. "What?" he snapped. "What the hell are you talking about? We've been living together for 2 years." They stood there panting, staring at each other in disbelief. "You're telling me," Bobby said, his voice cracking with sudden understanding. "You didn't know about me either?" Stan shook his head slowly, the rage inside him shifting, turning cold. "She played us," he said, voice low and grim. "Both of us?" Bobby let out a bitter laugh and kicked a piece of gravel across the sidewalk. "Witch," he muttered. "Then let's burn her whole world down," Stan said. And in that broken, bitter alliance, their revenge was born. Over the next hour, fueled by whiskey and righteous anger, Stan's carefully modulated, Bobby's raw and explosive, they sketched out a plan. Stan, the strategist, guided the conversation. Bobby, the insider with knowledge of Bianca's schedule, provided the linchpin. While they sat at the bar, nursing fresh drinks and simmering in their silent anger, Stan's phone buzzed on the counter. Bianca. Her name lit up the screen, cheerful and oblivious. Stan just stared at it, the buzzing filling the space between them. He didn't move to answer. Better text her back, Bobby said, voice low. Keep her calm. Make sure she doesn't smell the smoke yet. Stan shook his head slowly, jaw tightening. I don't want to hear her voice, he muttered. Instead, he grabbed the phone and typed a quick message. Got pulled into a work call. Swamped. Talk later. A few seconds later, her reply popped up. A blowing kiss emoji. Stan turned the screen toward Bobby. Bobby let out a bitter laugh, shaking his head. What a piece of work, he muttered. Stan placed the phone face down on the bar, the cold anger inside him only growing sharper. Meanwhile, Bianca, riding high on her comeback plan, was preparing for a major celebratory livestream next day. The livestream was going to be her big moment, a setting the record straight, a look how great I'm doing performance tied together with the new brand announcement. Her followers were already buzzing, eager to see her back. She had no idea. Nothing to make her suspicious. As far as Bianca knew, Bobby was still loyal, helping her prep for the big night. He helped Bianca set up the lighting, check the sound, made encouraging small talk. She beamed at him, completely unaware that the noose was already tightening around her. On screen, Bianca's apartment studio was washed in the soft, flattering glow of ring lights. She looked perfect. Sitting tall, a carefully practiced smile on her face. The live chat was exploding with heart emojis, welcome back messages, and congratulations. Hey, glow-getters, Bianca chirped, her voice high and artificially bright. So happy to see so many beautiful faces here tonight. I know there's been a lot of negativity lately. Misunderstandings, really. But tonight, it's all about moving forward. She launched into her speech, full of fake humility and optimism, vaguely hinting at some personal challenges, but never admitting to anything concrete. Then she pivoted, holding up a bland-looking jar of moisturizer and flashing it at the camera. This amazing new partnership is just the beginning, she gushed. The chat erupted with applause emojis and comments of support. It was exactly the comeback moment she had envisioned. And that's when Bobby moved. Still off camera, just outside the frame, he raised his voice slightly. Casual, friendly, like he was helping her fill time. Bianca, mind if I ask you something real quick? Bianca, still glowing with confidence, looked toward him with that bright, controlled smile, the one she'd practiced in the mirror. Of course, she said lightly, tossing her hair back. Anything for my team? The chat fluttered with hearts and fire emojis. Bobby stepped into the frame slowly, hands in his pockets, easy grin on his face. The picture of a loyal collaborator. Are you seeing anyone right now? He asked. Calm. Straight, like it was nothing. Bianca blinked. Just for a split second. She laughed. Soft and dismissive. Me? Oh, come on, you guys know me, she said, turning to the camera with a playful look. I'm married to the grind. There's no man in this picture. Just me, my vision, and you guys. The chat exploded. In a good way. Yes, queen, independent woman, icon. She's so real, love this? Bobby smiled tightly, but his eyes didn't match the smile. No one at all? He asked again. No relationship, no partner behind the scenes? Bianca froze. The tension shifted in the room, just a flicker. Bobby's expression hardened just slightly. That's weird, he said slowly, still facing her. Because I thought I was your boyfriend. The chat froze, then exploded. What? Is this a skit? Boyfriend? Is he serious? Is she lying? Bianca turned red, visibly, unmistakably red, even under the smoothing light of the ring lamps. She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Then she laughed, thin and high. Okay, let's not get crazy, she said, voice shaky now. Bobby's been such a great part of my team. He's amazing. But guys, this is just miscommunication, okay? She turned back to Bobby, her smile now trembling. Can we maybe talk later? This isn't the place. And that's when the front door opened. Stan stepped inside and walked calmly into the frame. He stood behind Bianca, close enough that viewers could see him clearly, in full focus, over her shoulder. Expressionless, cold, still. Bianca's spine stiffened. She saw him not directly, but in the reflection on her screen. Her mouth opened again, and this time it was just a whisper. Stan! The chat went feral. Is that her ex? What is happening? 2 guys on stream! OMG, this is real? Is this live? Bianca spun toward him, wild-eyed, panicked. Stan, what the hell are you doing here? Stan didn't answer. He just turned toward the camera, meeting the gaze of thousands watching. I'm her fiancé and she's cheating on me. Bianca stepped back, visibly shaking now. This is setup, she said, her voice cracking. You both set me up! She lunged for her phone, trying to end the stream, but Stan moved first. He calmly took the phone from the table and held it out of her reach. Give that back! She screamed. She grabbed at him, flailing, clawing at his arms and shoulders. He didn't react. She jumped onto his back, shrieking, trying to grab the phone from over his shoulder. The camera captured it all. The chaos, the screaming, the absolute destruction of her carefully constructed image. Bobby stayed in frame, filming it all with his own phone. He looked at the camera, voice low but steady. Just for the record, I didn't know about him. She lied to both of us. Bianca was crying now, gasping between shrieks. You ruined everything. No, Stan said finally, looking her dead in the eye. You did. Thousands of viewers were watching. Screen recordings were already being saved. Screenshots were flooding social media. Bianca's carefully crafted image, the confident entrepreneur, the role model, was collapsing right in front of their eyes, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. Within hours, the clips went viral. #Bianca meltdown, #livestream fail, #Stan walks in trended across multiple platforms. The secondary brand she just announced immediately issued a statement terminating the partnership. Her follower count, once her prized metric, began to hemorrhage, dropping by thousands every hour. Stan returned home next morning, to his apartment. When he opened the door, she was there. Red-eyed, disheveled, still in last night's sweats. Stan, she started, trying to sound calm, but cracking immediately. You ambushed me. You ruined everything. No, Stan said coldly, dropping his keys on the counter. You ruined everything. You just thought I'd never find out. Don't you dare act like you're some victim. You humiliated me in front of everyone, she shouted, stepping closer. He walked past her without a glance, heading to the hall closet. You don't live here anymore, he said flatly. Start packing. Her jaw dropped. Excuse me? Stan opened the closet, pulled out her suitcase, and tossed it into the living room. I said pack. You can't be serious, she screamed. This is my home too. It's my lease, my name, my furniture, my money. Your name isn't on a single document. He looked at her, calm, controlled, icy. She rushed toward him, shoving his chest. You think this makes you powerful? Throwing me out like garbage? Stan didn't react. He crossed the room and opened the balcony door. Then he began gathering her things, carefully, methodically, from the vanity, from the drawers, from the bathroom. The contents of her influencer life began flying through the open door. Ring light, gone. Stack of skincare boxes, gone. 2 handbags she'd flaunted in stories, gone. Stan, stop it, she screeched. What the hell are you doing? You're insane, he didn't respond. You are such a psycho, she yelled. You'll regret this, I'll sue you. He calmly took out his phone and called. Yes, I'd like to report someone refusing to leave my property. I've already asked her multiple times. No, she's not on the lease. He hung up. Bianca backed up against the wall, cornered, crying now. You can't do this to me. I have nowhere else to go. He stared at her for a long moment. You had a home. You just didn't want it. When the police arrived, she tried to explain, tried to cry. It didn't work. Stan watched from the kitchen as the officers escorted her out. Her mascara was running. Her hair was a mess. She clutched that bear, Barnaba, like it was the last thing she owned. 2 days later, Stan was back in his apartment when she showed up at his door again. Stan didn't open right away. He stared through the peephole for a full minute before unlocking the door with deliberate slowness. Bianca stood there, coat open, hair loose, holding her phone like a shield. I'm pregnant, she said, skipping hello entirely. Stan blinked, then he laughed. Just once, sharp and dry. What? I said I'm pregnant, she repeated, slower now. It's yours, Stan. His smile dropped. He shook his head. Nope. Bianca stiffened. What do you mean, nope? I mean, he said, folding his arms, I always use protection. You don't remember? Her tone turned soft, as if coaxing a dog out of a cage. Sometimes things happen. No, he cut in hard. Nothing happened. I was careful, always. You think I let you near me without it? I'm not lying, she snapped, suddenly louder. I missed my period. I've taken 3 tests. Cool, Stan said. Then you won't mind a DNA test, will you? Bianca's jaw tightened. Unless, he added slowly, this is just your latest scam. I'm not some manipulative liar, she began. You're exactly that, he said, stepping forward, voice low. And if you show up here again, I'll call the police. Again. She flinched. You can go now, he said. Bianca turned without another word, shoulders stiff, fury radiating off her in waves as she stormed down the hall. Stan didn't watch her go. He just shut the door, locked it. 3 months later, it popped up on his feed by accident. A new account, new handle, same face. Bianca Hayes, fit, clean aesthetic, gym reels, poses in sleek leggings, no baby bump, no mention of pregnancy. Not a single post about prenatal anything. She wasn't pregnant when came to him. It was just a manipulation. A polished caption in her post. New chapter, stronger than ever, no more drama. Stan sat back in his chair, exhaled slowly, and smiled. Another lie, another performance, same old Bianca, but not his problem anymore.